But we gotta move on. We gotta move on. We gotta
Heard.
move on. um, Black Peace. I know we still talking. We was talking basketball. We're gonna get to Jason Tatum a little bit later down the runway. But I want to bring this up to you specifically, Black Peace, being the music head. So there was this post that went out about top all time, the greatest rappers all time who don't have classic albums, right? I'm gonna run this list down to you, but it's two people on this list that I wanted to bring to your attention, and I hate Dacius couldn't make it tonight because I want to hear his thoughts as well. So, top 10 all time greatest MCs without a classic album. At number 10, you got Cannabis. At number 9, you got Andre Three Stacks. 8, you got Busta Rhymes. 7, you got Ludacris. 6, you got Inspector Dick. 5, you got Black Thought. 4, you got Fabulous. 3, you got Jada Kiss. 2, you got Method Man. And number 1, you got Grand Puba. The two artists on here that I wanted to bring to your attention specifically is Ludacris and Fabulous. When they talk about albums, give me, this is my opinion, not as big. I'm not a as much of a music savant as yourself and Sedacious, but give me your opinion on this list. When you say Ludacris, I immediately go to Release Therapy. To me, Release Therapy is a classic. For Fabulous, number 4, Loso's Way, I think is a classic. Am I wrong? Do you disagree or agree, or maybe you may agree, but you feel like it's a different album that they have is a classic. But for me, Ludacris and Release Therapy is a classic, and Fabulous Low Soul's Way is a classic to me. Take off.
Okay, I'm gonna let you have Loso, okay? But Ludacris is absolute blasphemy. First and foremost, he has a numerous classics. That's the crazy thing about it. Like that's the even more eerie thing about it. Now, is it your more rougher rap? Absolutely not. It's Ludacris style. It's more the goofier style. It kind of resembles Busta Rhymes, old Busta Rhymes, Mr. Elliott type shit. But at the end of the day, that's the beauty of it. Release Therapy was the cutoff of the Missy Elliott and the Busta Rhymes style of rapping and proving to the world, hey, I can be taken seriously if I felt like it. If I feel like it, I can be lyrical to the degree of top five at the time.
War with God? Are you kidding me?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Like,
Too many. Too many classics, too many. I'm looking at it as that was the one shift where I felt like he even came back down to earth, but he hit a certain supernova level when he dropped that album. And it was so catastrophic. I feel like the rap game didn't know how to process it at the time. And I think if it would have dropped a little bit later in rap, it probably can process better. But for taking this rapper who's just known for being a goofball, animated videos, always talking about sex and just big rims and throwing bows and Atlanta shit, like the fun side of Atlanta, like they actually got some real shit and then they couldn't believe it. And like I said, Release Therapy, man, that's a classic. I can't believe I had a feeling it was gonna be somebody of it like that caliber where they so used to them being a certain character, and the moment they show their skill, it gets overlooked, totally overlooked. So I think that's what happened in that case. People so used to Ludacris being the goofy guy, the relaxed guy, the party songs. They respect the fact that he can rap, but they never really took him seriously. And the moment he cut his hair, the moment he dropped that video with Young Jeezy, the moment War with God was
grew up
listened to
to
by the
and
by the
screw
listeners,
up.
it was a game changer. And this is when Lil Wayne was I believe coming into his own. This was when Jay Z popped his head back in there. He was doing it around some big dogs. I think Bun B had dropped the album around that time. Like he was fighting for his life. And yeah, Release Therapy. Shame on the people that made that list. How could you forget? Because at the end of the day, I believe if you bring it back to their attention, all they can say is, "Oh my God, how could I miss that?" I do believe Fab does have a classic album. I've just never quite crossed that threshold of being a fan enough to want to listen to an album from him or want to, or I was more mixtape Fab than album Fab at the end of the day. So I'll leave that judgment up to you because it was just like, yeah, I messed with Fab, but I can't say I know the intro to the outro. I know the intro to the outro when it comes to release therapy. I don't know that with him, but I can respect him enough to know he at least has the one. Feel like he has two, but I know he got one.
Yeah, that's why I want Dacius on here because I think Dacius would definitely vehemently state claim for Fabulous having a classic album. Um, so yeah, yeah, when I seen this, I was just like, absolutely, like, no way, no how, like, Ludacris, like, come on, Fabulous, Loso's way. And maybe I'm biased because like those were like soundtracks of my childhood growing up, so it made me feel like the whole world was listening to it. But I mean, Get Rich or Die Trying, that's a soundtrack to my childhood, and the whole world was listening to that as well. So yeah, man. Yeah.
A classic album consists of a memorable intro, a solid fluidity of the album. Means like you can you prefer to listen to that album or the songs from that album through the album way. You don't want to just pick out a song or two. That helps, clarifies if you're a classic album. Um, you can predict when you first hear the album, you can predict what songs are gonna be hits and what's gonna be the main ones. You know what I'm saying? You can predict like three or four, and then 9 times out of 10, those three or four are gonna be videos or they're gonna perform on shows or whatever. And also, I think another thing that solidifies a classic is the attention that other albums by other big artists being dropped, not getting attention because they're too busy listening to that album. And like I said, that's what was happening around him. He dropped his album, and other big artists dropped their stuff, and it's like you had no other choice but to go back to Ludacris. So, uh, yeah, those other artists, I understand that because I feel like those are a lot of good skilled artists. But as far as from beginning to end and say, man, I want to jam that album, you really don't think about Andre 3K. You think about verses, you think about his features, you think about creative songs he's done. You think about Outkast, but you don't think about Andre 3K himself, solo dolo, classic album.
Yeah, because on like the knock with Andre is that he has classic Outkast albums, but not actual solo project albums, and so yeah, yeah.
That kind of boiled my blood to be honest with you, man. I can't believe that. First of all, he has class. He has uh Word of Mouth is not a classic album, folks. That's not. That is not. That is not. That is not.
The
Okay.
disrespect, the
That
disrespect.
I feel like it's one more he had. Red Light District.
Come
I
on,
know.
bro. Get your
I,
lighters, roll your sticky. Let's get high. Let's get high. I got
know it's
that
a
blueberry yum yum,
uh,
and it's that fire.
it's a little bit pop. Hell, it is pop, but damn, it was done well. It does
Like,
not matter if it's pop or not. That was a Red Light District.
yeah.
No, that's actual blasphemy. And being number seven on it, I kind of give a little bit of respect because you're saying like maybe some people feel like he got a classic album, but nah, bro. For the time that music was at that time and what we were talking about, you could get away with rapping like Ludacris as long as you were good at it. That's why Nelly was so successful. He rapped just like Ludacris, just different content. He kept it poppy. He made songs you can dance to, play in the club. Like you could play around white folks.
Yeah,
That's
it
what
didn't try to
that's what Nelly did.
reinvent the
So did Ludacris.
wheel. Yeah. It didn't try to reinvent the wheel.
Move, bitch, get out the way. A song that it's not even a song anymore. It's a living phrase. And that you're telling me that song is part of a non-classic album? Yeah, I got Ludacris. Fucked up. Hey, drop a Ludacris Eddie, y'all, right there, man. Oh, trout mouth ass nigga from The Watch.
Well, fuck you then, old trout mouth ass nigga.
One of my favorite Ludacris quotes. Oh, trout mouth ass nigga. Yeah, man. I can't believe he thinks like that. And respect to Luda, even though it's on the 2000s to 2010 side, Homie still can rap. It's still on some 2010 to 2010 type content, but at the end of the day, Homie still can rap. People try to hate on him. Kind of still talent, bro. Chris Bridges. They try to do Chris Bridges like this. Boy, is that Chris Bridges? Look at you, boy. You done grew up to them ears.
I mean, Lord,
Wow.
please forgive me for the mistakes I made, and thanks for keeping my mama asleep
Wow.
when she wrecked my Escalade.
That's
Come on, bro.
classic
What are
album.
we?
That song alone is by far one of his best songs he's ever
Searching
done.
so hard, searching so hard, trying to
Y'all
provide.
gotta put some respect on Louis and Hank. No, no. They let them big hands like dictate who he is, and that's just him having fun as the top 5 rapper back in the day. I don't care what nobody say. Sorry, sorry, sorry. As a package deal, he was top 5 rapper back in the day. Argue with your mom. Name somebody who was consistent as him. He dropped albums every 2 years. Every 2 years for like 10 years worth, maybe if not more. He had like 6 albums. Stop it. 3 of them classics.
The doors of the pod are open.